Hey guys, it's Tartan coming at you with another game of Inscryption. Here's our deck. We're gonna lose. Let's just get to it, right? This little symbol means the cards, so we're gonna take this guy. Power up attack. So this is a card game, and I'm really bad at it. Alright, we got the prong guy there. But we should be able to come over here and then just... Yeah, wonderful. Look at me. You know, that's gonna be the only time I play right the whole game. No, I'm being slightly unfair. Alright, so Vampiric Grizzly is... That's a card I made. Vampiric Grizzly's a great card. It's a 4/6 for 1 that when you play it, you, you get to search for any card in your deck and put it into your hand. It's pretty good. It's really incredibly good, in fact. I made it myself. Hey, Ollie. I have to lose him, but you're gonna stay for a bit. Well, welcome. The game's Inscryption. I'm not very good at it. You won't learn anything about it from talking to me. Right here. Block flying creatures with this. Sure. Yeah, you build like it's like a deck builder game, but you know there's significant twists. Like the cards talk to you sometimes, and the fights aren't very fair. And also you're like, you know, at the end of the run, they like make a new card called a death card. So basically you can like power things up by losing. But so like how it works is you can draw these squirrel cards, and then the blood cost here on the card, that's how many like cards you have to sacrifice to get that. And then you have this one which has bone costs. Yeah, you're not supposed to... It's one of those games where you're not supposed to be able to get through it, you know, your first time. But I have only got to the third boss. I don't even know how many bosses there are. But it's like... Early on, the things they're doing, there's specific sorts of problems, right? Like... They might start with a card or two more than you, but they don't have, like, they may not draw a bunch like you are going to. So instead of, You know, instead of playing against them as if they're doing the same thing you are, you're like, they have a differing sort of set of resources than you do. They're not casting their cards like you are, they're just pushing them out there. But that means, you know, the stronger your stuff gets, the more it can all come together. This beehive, yeah. We'll take that. Alright, so we're gonna sack the beehive, obviously. And this mechanic, you take like the symbol that's on the card here, and then you give it to this other creature for the duration of the run. So if we just, you know, let's give the skink the beehive. You strike the skink and bees fly out. So is it just a theme? I do not know, actually. It's possible that it was on other formats. Some viewer of the channel recommended it to me. But here's the first boss fight. The Prospector. And so how he works is he's got this mule, and once you get the mule down, you get a bunch of cards, but he's got like 2 lives. And after you get the first one down, he'll break everything that you have on the field, and then he was trickier before you get, you know, some more abilities. Some of the stuff that I have, like, after this fight, I'll stand up from the table and walk around, because it's sort of like you're, like, trapped in this mysterious cabin, and you're playing this guy. He's like a sort of like a dungeon master in D&D, but it's card based, and also like you die for real. I think I might have messed up. Yeah, I should have played the skink over here. Yeah, I messed up. I think I'm gonna just die. Yeah, you can just play in the wrong space, yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna die. Yep. I bought it on Steam. But I don't know where else it's available. Anyway, a very bad run. A very bad run. So here, this is the death card thing. Now, when you go through a longer run, you have more cards. So you could get like a cheap cost with like a really big power and toughness and good abilities. I haven't done that yet. I've got a cheap cost with a pretty good power and toughness and great abilities, but you know, like, you could do better. This is like a pretty bad card. It's fine. It's a 3-2 for 1, but it's like, you know. And then you have to name it. I like to, name it derivatives of the things that it came from. But anyway, so he takes a picture of you, and then it's like bang bang. And then every now and then you get these visions of like the next place in the adventure that you're supposed to look. Which I thought we already opened that one. Alright, space yes, then the top 3, and then the bottom one. Alright, so, did I tell you the tale of the one who came before you? They fell to a mad prospector. Nothing comes between that man and his gold. Alright, so here, so this is what you start out with. But we're in this cabin, and, we can, this was like a book where it said, all the information, but there was also like a secret code, to the safe, and this was the clock. You can open that up, and the cards on here change around every now and then. I don't know what's up with that. And this was a safe. Oh, there's more of them. I guess I only looked at the top two, right? And then there's like random stuff, and you can mess around with it and pull the teeth out. Nobody knows what they do. I don't know what they do. And then you can just like mess around with things. Now, I don't know if the point is for you to like understand what's going on, because I never have. But I have found that if you click around on them long enough, then like, you know, things will change. And there's honestly only so many permutations, right? There are. There are only so many. That's just a fact. And while you could, like, try to understand what's going on in the game, you could also, if you're me, simply click around a lot and then give up if you never figure it out. Because, like, I don't even know what it's going for, right? It doesn't make any sense to me. But I've found that if you just click on them, sometimes you get a reward. It's like a really good reward. It was trying to send me a message, but, you know, I'm too ignorant to read it. Was it backwards? So anyway, so this is like really important, and I'm like too brainless to ever pay attention to it. It's always like, do you understand? And I'm like, no, I don't understand. I would literally die if you put me in a room like this and said, figure out how to do it. I'd actually just probably try to like take out the door or the windows. Because like, how can moving one of them go from 2 to 0? These are questions. And this is like apparently every bit as much playing the game as the real game is. And anyway, I don't get it, and I don't really like it very much. We're just gonna lose another run. But anyway, yeah, that's like a whole thing that's going on. That's like that's existing in the background of playing the game too. So each run, you know, you get random cards who have different abilities. The porcupine has thorns, the river otter, you know, goes underwater in between turns, so they can't strike it, that kind of thing. And I don't know what's good. I know what's good in, like, other card games, theoretically, but I just, you know, I don't know what's good. But we should stabilize here. Alright, well, we got it up to a 1-6, so that's pretty good. pop the wolf there. The alpha moves forward, hits me, and then gets hit for the thorns. We trade across there. And there's that fight at least. Pretty annoying to get one of the good death cards early, or one of the good cards from that thing early, and then just totally botch the final attempt. We'll take that one to maybe eventually power up the insect clan. And here we can sack those, pop the wolf cub, and then he's out of cards, and then he's out of cards. Good deal. Grab another skink, maybe we'll be able to get something out of it. Alright, so here... I like this better, so now you know. Because the black goat was just a 0-1. It's basically like you had to play it and then sack it for that. But now, like, if you have a 1-3, you can actually like do a little bit of something and then get the value. I think you're not alone. A figure emerged from the fog. Here we go. All right. So what we need to do. Thinking here, or if we over? Nope, not in time. All right, we might not make it. We really badly played here. Well, you know, what can we do to get out of this? Well, not that. I think we just stabilized it in time. Whoops. That was more than we needed to sack there. That's okay. At least I thought it was. Well, I guess it wasn't. But I think we win. Yeah, because we're stabilized here, and he doesn't have anything else. Well, at least we'll make it out of the first zone. The DAOs. They make chimes which are like the walls of the beaver, but 0-1s instead of 0-2s. We're taking Mantis God. Mantis God hits in 3 directions. You just you get that a little stronger, and then it all turns on. Hey, Froggy. This is a card game? Yeah, kinda. It's kind of weird. It's like you build the deck each time, but it's not very fair. It's one of those games where it's designed to make you fail over and over, I think. Alright, and then we'll get Poison Touch for our insect tribe. That'll be good. I think Mantis God's just gonna clear it, right? Because he'll do 3 damage, and then Everwolf does 3. Yeah, coming in over the top. But yeah, I've played this game a few times, like just for a few sessions, you know. Old Coolio, if you'll remember him from the chat. So, sigils to pass, blood cost to pass. I think we'll take this. There's 2. Oh, just 3. We fail. Alas. We don't get a card. Alright, so we can get this for them. I kinda think Poison Touch is better. Because the skinks and like all of that, yeah, I think it's fine to have that. Okay, keep that pronged attack in case it becomes relevant. But due to the mechanic of the tripartite attack there, we might just come in for the win here, because you only need 5 points, right? And then, yeah, they'll block too, but yep, there we go. And then they'll come across here. But then our skink should get it done. Well, now we'll definitely get it done. Hooray! Alright, bullfrog? Yeah, because we're going to be able to go to the mushroom experimenter people who are like, where's the victim? And they're like, well, not victim. Alright, but we're going to put the skinks on there, right? Because these are the ones... Well, no, if we give them poison touch, do we really want them to be stronger? Let's level up the bullfrogs. Look away! Now it'll be a 2-4 frog. Mantis so good, and then we'll just throw Everwolf there, and we might actually come in for, Oh yeah, we immediately get it. It was fair, it was a fair fight. Anyway, so that's the sort of thing you can do, because it's like... So Pack-Wolf is way worse than Everwolf is, because Everwolf costs 0. And Pack-Wolf gives you an item, which I've never used. I should probably start someday. Fundamentally, a 3-2 for 1 is still an acceptable card, though. Better than acceptable. It's very nice. It's just not, like, inspiring. But what if we gave the Mantis God ability to this free cost Everwolf? See, now we're talking, right? Now, if we drop him, he can do 9 damage immediately without paying for it. And that could work, you know. In a late game, Hail Mary, grab it, you know. What you first mistook for a misshapen boulder appeared to be a hulking man. You attempted to sneak past him, but your foot made contact with a metal bucket. Bum, bum, bum. You bring fresh fish. Easy choose. It's the angler. Nice top deck, yes, I know. Alright, so the angler has 2 phases. This first phase, he will occasionally put a hook on a card and steal it from you, so you have to keep like a bad card to throw to it, because he'll change his focus to it. In the second phase, he pops everything, and then he throws down buckets that turn into great sharks. So we're just going to try to avoid that, right? So here we throw a squirrel here. This is also going to block this kingfisher from attacking. Because after he takes it, it's going to push his card back. This is only going to be useful for a brief period of time, but... we can make Pack-Wolf go down here. He hits for 3-4. That'll stabilize us. Alright, so what we want to do here is just pass the turn. That's going to be enough to pop it, right? Right. And then now we just need to get... you know, a different pull would have been better there. Go fish, indeed. See, the thing about those underwater guys is you can't block them, but what we can do is throw a smoke down there. Block here. And that'll buy us like one turn, because all we need to do is fish out. There we go. Because we haven't lost any HP, so if we could just get, which we can't yet. I was like, man, if we can just get the card that'll block these. Okay, I can just pull that item over here by clicking on it. That's good news. I should have known that in the past. Alright, same old then. We will just sack both of these guys in. And then we can go over the top for the victory? Yeah! Ha ha ha! Look at me. Alright. You know, it worked out. We're gonna take another Mantis God. Ooh, we could take an Urayuli though. Urayuli, you know, it's pretty easy to get a good ability on them. But Mantis God, oh, Mantis God. No, we're gonna take a Mantis God. Cause like with 3-pronged attack poison, I just feel like we should be able to hopefully tempo our way into victory this way. Alright, the beauty of the falling snow could not distract you from the chill in your bones. Your body quaked in a futile attempt to maintain warmth. You had finally reached the snow line. We've been here before, it never goes well. Maybe it will this time. 4 attack power, 3 sigils, 6 health. I think the health will be the easiest to achieve, right? I mean, the attack power. We can probably get something out of there. Yeah, there we go. There's 4. We even got to 5. So we get a card, which will be a souped-up grizzly. Now, this grizzly would only let us sacrifice it for 3 more power. Pretty underwhelming. This one coming out for free and then giving you more bones seems alright, though. Okay. Now we're talking. So now we're going to be able... You play an insect, any insect, and we're going to be able to look through the library for a card. That card is going to be Everwolf, who is a free mana cost card, blood cost, free cost card, with 3 power that attacks and 3 prongs in front of him because of a previous sacrifice. So, we play any insect and we'll be able to fish out a very large amount of damage. Because like right here, Everwolf is going to just pop... Here's a demonstration, right? This is what my man does. You just play him and immediately ends the round. He does 9 damage. It's over. But, you know, it's the first time I've ever had him in this form. The triple attack, real good. The free cost, really good. And of course, if you get him at the end of like a hard-fought boss battle, he will be probably an instant win at any point, because 9 points of damage is a big swing. And if you set him up to hit to the sides, you know, like they don't get to hit you back. All right, here. We'll go this way. Yeah, so for example, now all we have to do is get a 1-cost, just any 1-cost in our opening hand that's that's like a, well, no, the skink is in a different tribe. The skink's in a different tribe. I didn't know that. Well, maybe, anyway, maybe it only activates whenever you pull them in your hand. It doesn't matter. You just get something that tutors it up, and then you drop your Everwolf, and then you hit the bell, and then you do 9 damage, and now, or in this case 11, and, we're just, the cup overfloweth. We're just running right through it. The first time that I've actually felt like I have a strong build, but of course, how long can it last? Probably up until this fight. Alright, so we're gonna sell the hair pelt and get... Well... None of these things are gonna help me. I'm like, I just wanted another insect. So we get another pack rat. Alright, we draw an Everwolf, so we immediately come in for the victory. This is sportsman. This is really sportsman-like. Look at all of the bones. 'Cause all you gotta do is draw the Everwolf. Vampiric Grizzly, my man. And here, once again, the most advantageous thing to throw out is this Mantis God's ability. Because then we throw it on Vampiric Grizzly's ability because the other free cost people are not as advantageous in a 4/6. Yeah, so there we go. And now, of course, Everwolf can go get Vampiric Grizzly. Oh yeah, now we are now cooking with gasoline. It's about to be explosive turns, or I'm gonna lose, We'll see. The trapper sat hunched beside one of his traps, slowly cranking it open. He dared to remove a mangled hair from the steel teeth, but left the trap unhinged. Bum, bum, bum. You shouldn't have come here. So the frogs jump up and attack you, right? And the traps blow up the things opposite of you on the trap. So if we could get... Alright, Frozen Possum is a 0/5. And when it breaks up, we get a possum? Okay, weird. Good. We're just gonna throw Pack Wolf out here. Get 3 damage over the top. There we go. There's our Everwolf. Now we just need to... Alright, once... Pack Wolf dies, then Corpse Maggots comes out, I think is how it'll work. Alright, yeah, perfect. Alright, Everwolf gets pulled out by that, you know, not perfect, but, you know, we had to have expected it was gonna happen, right? But there we go. There's enough to get through the first phase, at least. Okay. And then he's gonna do whatever he does here. Let's trade. Alright, and then I have to use my pelts to buy his stuff away from the board. Let's get those, I guess, maybe? Because we can just... Yeah, we could just play Vampiric Grizzly right here, and then clear the whole middle board, right? So we don't have any more juice, but when he comes over the top, he gets reduced to 3, but he's still gonna pop both of them, and then Everwolf will take out 2 of them. You know, could be better, but... But Vampiric Grizzly's fine. Oh no, they came over for enough. Oh man, you're joking. 1 point. I lose again. I'm bad. The best build ever. You know, but that's the thing, is Everwolf got pulled out into a place that I didn't want to play it because you know, I forgot that one of its abilities is getting played. Alright, we're getting the cost from this one, because it's 1. Power and toughness. Alright, so it's going to be a pretty bad card. A 1-mana 1/2. With, yeah, this is just literally a bullfrog. We're going to call it Bad Frog because anytime we get this card, it could have been something better than a generic bullfrog. And so it'll be known by the name Bad Frog forever. Oh. I guess I messed with that enough to get this card. You know, sometimes you just click things, and sometimes something happens. Because I've definitely clicked that candle before. Anyway, I still don't understand why this is any sort of fulfilling thing to do. I like the regular game. The clicking around on stuff was fine as soon as they started letting you... Because sometimes you can move them and sometimes you can't, right? Like, this one won't move at all, and then they'll only move in certain orders, which, you know... Since all you're doing is jamming the button until it tells you that you get a fresh card, it doesn't feel very fulfilling. But anyway, you know, so basically, you know, and they're like, is it 5? No, it's just 4. And then you move it and it goes to 2 somehow. Anyway, it's deeply frustrating, and I don't understand it at all. It's not about getting them all to one side. There's no... You know, it's like, you know, sound and fury signifying nothing. It's very obnoxious. If it means anything, it's to somebody who's not me. Anyway, but I clicked on the top ones enough to make them unlock, you know, and there's a cool card in there, or 2 cards in there. So there's probably more in here, but, you know, it just annoys me. So I just usually click on it a couple of times and then give up. This is worst strat, he's the worst strat. He's like a pack rat, but even worse. I named him. Because, like, Bad Frog is merely a bad frog because he gets in the way of possibly getting a good card. But Worst Strat is actually worse than a pack rat. There we go. I always choose the weird static card, you know, I don't know why, nobody knows why I do anything. Star Alpha, in spite of just being a 2-1, is a free cost, which has a value all its own. Magpie can go and get a card, but a Grizzly's a Grizzly. And since you're bad at the game, if you're me, you know, what's more important? Trying to make a better run, which you can't even do anyway because you're bad, or getting overcosted, overvalued cards, and then hopefully turning them into a death card to hopefully do better on a future run. You know, because you can't just play and think, maybe I'll win. You won't. You're bad. All you can do is try to overcome that, you know, by cheating more than the game cheats. Because this game cheats, like, really hard, but theoretically we could cheat more than it does. I'm just not smart enough to get it to happen, but it could happen. Last run I thought we were getting there. Alright, and it won't even tell you what that thing does when you look. We're gonna take it, because the other ones seem actively like I don't want to draw them. It's greater smoke. Oh, now it actually has an attack value. So here we put the squirrel in front there. And the adder will break that, and then we can throw 2 squirrels down here and here to summon the wolf here, and then drop another squirrel there and pop it with the otter. And I think we stabilized. There we go. Shockingly, we beat the first boss with this pretty terrible build. Mantis God's so good. Death card path. Vampiric Grizzly, my favorite. But we may be able to get away with this, right? We'll just... Maybe should have put the dire elf in a slightly different spot, but I think here... Yeah, no, we'll just come across the top anyway. They don't block bow on the back on the turn they play. If you can just come across the top for 8, you know, on turn 2, you usually can get it done. Usually. Alright, so we buy the golden pelt. Maybe later on that'll pay off, right? Here, the power of flight, that's levitation homes. Alright, here we're gonna... We should be able to win right now, right? Because Vampiric Grizzly pull into Dire Alpha is 7 damage. Yeah, there you go. Clean. You know, it's a very strong opener for a turn 1 kill. It reminds me of playing Magic the Gathering. I'm like, oh, I get to go first? Excellent. Well, you'll be interested to know. Alright, so we're gonna take this Grizzly, yeah, because we're about to go to a Mushroom Lady. Oh, and he's gonna sell me, like, a really good thing, like a Gek. Yeah. And now we will... I think it becomes like an 8-12 Grizzly, which is like, yeah, pretty beefy, huh? Pretty different than adding a... Because I've gotten like a 14-14 thing before, but then I never gotten to take advantage of it. Yep, alright, so here... we do the old combo again. They can't break our style. They can't hold us down. Any turn we see Vampiric Grizzly on is a very likely turn 1 win against the computer. But of course, in the boss fights, it's another problem entirely. It's not so simple there. Alright, it's gonna like make some bones or something from what, you know, why don't we sacrifice this weird tentacle thing and see what happens? Same as anything else, got it. The angler. So we go entirely across the top here. But I figured we could go across the top for 6 with the Mantis God and win anyway. Haha, yeah, baby. That's the power of love. That's the power of a 2-1 that hits 3 times. You know, he didn't get to do anything. What abilities, you know? What abilities. Alright, another Mantis God is clearly the way to go. That card is all of the possibilities in life. Now we've got a couple of possible turn 1 victories, you know. Here we're gonna go this way. Bird, yeah, Sparrow generic feels fine. Sacrifice it to get flying to the Grizzly. Boom, baby. Just as planned. Alright, so they got Stinky Elk. But we should be able to win this right now, right? Maybe not, because we got Gek and Mantis God, but, you know, actually... Yeah, because then they'll come across for 3, but we still do 4 next time, because he flies, and I don't think these guys can block flying. Yeah. And then he moves in front of the moose. Oh, but they got Mantis got down to 0. Oh, that's rough. Well. Well, I wasn't thinking of that. Looks like we're gonna lose. No, that's not fair. We could still pull out. Nope, not you. Actually, wait, is he gonna fly over the top for 1 and let me win? Glorious, it was a lucky draw. You know, there were a couple of things that could have let us win, and that was one of them. We're gonna go to the Trapper here. We're buying all of those pelts so that when we go up to the fight, we can trade them across. Of course, that does make it harder for you to win your fights on the way there, but hopefully this won't hurt us. Alright, they've got... We could get crazy bloody rabbit pelts, or more powerful Mantis God. More powerful Mantis God will come across for 6, which is enough for a straight win without any other additions. So, and flying, which is likely enough to be able to come across, so that should maybe be able to get us somewhere. But we grab a Vampiric Grizzly to Dire Alpha turn 1 hit. That's all you gotta do. Alright, there's another death card up this way. So that's where we'll go. Sick health seems fine. Okay, yeah, there we go. We win. And we're gonna take this 4 bones alpha. Yeah, I mean, that seems fine. And here we want to increase the power of the Mantis God. Because now it does 9 and will fly. We want to get it off of the pot there. 9 flying should be enough to, you know, if we find it. Because now, depending on the blood situation, we can go hit Vampiric Grizzly if we get the hit. Sack it for the Mantis God if we have to get it right there and come across the roof for 9. If, and only if, it works out that way. Oh, it got me. Oh, they fooled me. Well, there's one loss. They fooled me. I forgot that they could, forgot they could do that. Okay, so between Turtlebat, Worstrat, and Casey, Turtlebat is the obvious choice. Turtlebat's a turtle that gets stronger and it flies. Here, we already have the setup we want with the flying there. Alright, time for the boss fight, and of course, maybe with all the pelts, maybe this time it'll go different. But actually, I think we might just lose here. Yeah, I think we just lose, because the trap is going to just pop Turtle Bat here, but maybe... play this. They only come in for one. And we hit there, and then Mantis God, we save it for the next phase, because Vampiric Grizzly is gonna fly over. Well, no, they're just not gonna get any damage out of it, right? No, this one's gonna come up and kill me. Oh, he moved, but it didn't block it. Oh well, we lose again. I'm so bad at this game. Oh well. Alright, well, at least we can use the rabbit pelt for the cost. Free cost card, and it'll be an 8-12 from the Grizzly. Alright, we're in good shape so far. Okay, well... Okay, so this is a 0 cost 8-12 with 3 attacks in front of it. Pretty good. Pretty good indeed. It will be called Grizzly God in honor of the Mantis God and the Grizzly. Anyway, that card... So you'll be able to play it for 0. So anytime you play it, you would just do, 24 damage potentially. Which, pretty good. But anyway. So it shows you this thing where it's like, okay, but how do you make that state happen? I don't know. Right, because you want this one to be there, and then you want these to be, not like that. Anyway, it's not like... I thought that was right. I don't understand what's going on. It's all very annoying. I don't understand why I can't just move them around, like physically move them. Sometimes you click them and they won't move, right? And sometimes it'll let you. But anyway, this is, you know, and then you just click on it for a while, and then eventually you quit the game in disgust, thinking if it was me in this house, I would either die or just break down a door. Because, like, they got, like, this nice knife here. You know, like, you can just take that away from the squirrel. Like, they got, like, this nice hammer. Like, you wouldn't catch me fiddling around with this after this dude had already killed me 4 times, you know. I would be doing something a little different, is all I'm saying. But anyway, it's super annoying, I don't know. I don't know why it is the way it is. I just wish it would open up and give me a prize from the inside. Because if you don't do it, after a little bit, like, your cards start talking to you, and they're like, hey, maybe go mess with that thing. And then you do it, and they're like, cool. And then you get another vision of an equally stupid scenario where it doesn't open up. Anyway, I'm tired of playing this game now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. The game's Inscryption. Playing it's fun. Clicking on the little tiles on the drawer is not fun. And every time I do it, I think about quitting. But I'm pretty sure that if you, like, don't click on the tiles, then you just, like, can't ever win. Which I don't like. I don't like that at all. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.